a pretty nice day today. I couldn't get my Go Plus to work still. I got it to work at home, but the second I got it, I was like, oh, it doesn't work now. Oh, the pains of upgrading your operating system. With a lot of interesting stuff I read. One of them with the Transport Canada and drone stuff, which is, oh my goodness, I can't believe I even read what I read. But yeah, I'll get into that later because it's going to be pretty interesting to talk about. Let's see, the first interesting thing I read recently, I was reading how in the US there was a WWE wrestler applying or something like that to be mayor. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Basically the wrestler was, I guess his studio name is Kane. And for those of you who don't watch like a wrestling, like his persona is kind of like a dead demon guy in the show. But I know there's actually like a version where it's like a corporate, the corporate Kane, that's what he calls him. That's kind of interesting. I know, I don't know, nowadays that seems like that's just how it is, like in terms of people applying for more of the political position. It's people that already have like an audience or reputation in some ways. I don't know, you can't really say necessarily, I guess, if they're going to do a good or a bad job, because realistically everyone brings something different to the table, right? I don't know, has anything like that ever happened in Canada? I think the only recent news is that Kevin O'Leary guy saying he wanted to be like the leader of a party and wanting to be like the Prime Minister of Canada. I don't think I remember any other like big celebrity stuff that's like that here. I was also reading how apparently like for various news outlets and stuff, like for here, like there was a Vancouver Sun and the province, there were massive layoffs. I guess that's just part of the dying media part of it. The story was kind of interesting because it was saying how the lack of, I guess, journalism and stuff like that is going to create a less democratic society and all that. I guess for the sake of just having less people like reporting news out there, like what's important to the local people. And at the same time, there was like a little snippet saying they were shocked that there were people actually celebrating the fact that people are getting like laid off just because there's an a kind of like a media thing going on. And I was trying to think about that. I can kind of see both perspectives. I know for myself anyways, like I said, like I usually rely more on digital media and stuff nowadays, like just the commentary and stuff, because even when I think about like this drone stuff, when I'm looking at the media reports, most of them are based for basic information, like you understand, okay, well that's the law now. But even the commentaries, I don't even really see anything about them going to the public, like them trying it themselves, so to speak, to see if it's like valid or not. So in that sense, I can kind of say like, well, a lot of the stuff they report isn't as relevant as like, you know, a person like me would like. And holy cow, these things grow so fast. Makes me almost want to leave like a time-lapse camera to see like everything grow and so forth. It's kind of cool how fast it grows, just like a couple of days. But in terms of like celebrating that people lose their jobs and so forth, I mean, I know that's a little overboard if people do that. I don't celebrate anything when people lose like jobs or anything like that. Oh, this would have been such a nice day to get the aerial shots of the sun and the mountains and everything. And that basically leads me to the main thing that I read just recently. Now, as you all know, we have like those crazy laws right now that's basically essentially like banning recreational flyers from flying anywhere. And one of the issues is, by the sounds of it, if you want to fly right now, you have to be a commercial flyer. But for like people like myself, I personally think the laws are imbalanced. Like there should be a difference between like the way people fly and how they use it, because like I said, for me, the drone is really more just a camera if you think about it, like the way I use it for videography and stuff like that. And so there have been a lot of people basically like saying the same thing, except they use like a different example, saying like, well, if you don't let us like take pictures and videos of the country, doesn't that like slow down, you know, the economy of the country and all that? I mean, isn't that promoting tourism? And Transport Canada's official response to this type of thing was mind-boggling. You would think like, who's behind this? Like, is it the official government site or is it just like some random guy? But this is from the official Twitter site from Transport Canada. So from what I gathered, basically, someone was having a conversation with the Transport Canada on the YouTube, and essentially, again, what it was trying to say was like, okay, well, how can regular people, fly this without a commercial license or whatever? Because, again, it's kind of like it's promoting like Canada, tourism and so forth. And this was Transport Canada's response, like I'll post here. Posting on YouTube is considered commercial as it could lead to direct or indirect benefit. What? Now someone can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but based on the language it says here where it says it could lead to direct or indirect benefit, basically we're not talking about, for example, somebody getting paid to like say make the video and then you post it, or say having some kind of business agreement. Just the sheer notion of publishing a drone video on something like YouTube is considered commercial work. So even if you're uploading it on YouTube to share to like friends or family or anything like that, it's commercial work. This is insane. So if you think about this, essentially if you publish this on any kind of social media site, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just the sheer fact that you publishing it there could create indirect benefits and so forth, makes it, you need like a commercial license. That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. It's making me think of my original thoughts, where these original laws were in place not because of like necessarily for safety, but because of sheer ignorance. Basically, people who are outdated, like when it comes to technology and everything like that. Just reading some tweets here. I mean, this one guy said he's a paraglider, and he says he can basically like film aerial videos and I guess do business with it without like a license and so forth. Because in his opinion, the laws, because of that, the drone laws are stupid. And I agree. I mean, in many ways, what is the difference between that guy having a camera on his thing and so forth, and say me, like flying like a regular drone and all that? This one's kind of funny. The guy says, this is kind of funny because this guy also says, does this also mean I can deduct my drone from my taxes? Oh boy. I was trying to think more on what could create this, because like in many ways I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt that, and I mean this like in a sincere way, that the person in charge, like this Mark Garneau or whatever, he's just completely outdated. He's been like out of the regular civilian life for too long, and because of that he's fallen behind with technology, with the way it works. So I was actually trying to like research a little bit, like on a little more about his background and so forth. And apparently, like from the sounds of it, he was like an astronaut and everything like that. So he has a lot of experience with, say, traditional forms of like aviation and all that, which to me, that makes a lot of sense in terms of these laws and how ridiculous they are when it comes to like a drone flyer. Because I was just reading this other quote here. Let me just find it here. This was actually released on the day, I believe, like when the laws were put in place. It says his mentality of it was, if you are a pilot, you have very strict rules that you have to work by. So it's also important that we established strict rules for other unmanned objects that are going into the airspace, because they are going to be sharing the airspace. Like to me, this quote here kind of demonstrate and lies like the main problem. I personally don't believe like necessarily a person flying like a drone or a toy, whatever you want to call it, in the public, like say here again in these open fields, should be set with the same standard as someone who flies an airplane, for example, like with whatever his mind is. It's not the same thing. And it makes me think too, like for Transport Canada in general, either you guys are really understaffed, where because of that you just made these ridiculous laws because you just can't handle the workload or know how to handle like the issues, so you just threw something out there, hopefully like, okay, well, this will buy us some time. Or you guys need a complete like fresh injection of new blood with people that are more modern day, you know, people who fly modern day like drones, model aircrafts or whatever. I mean, you guys need a wake-up call in terms of how it is in modern day life. I mean, even like this sharing video thing or whatever on YouTube, I mean, what is this, 1950s or something? People don't like take tapes or manually make film and share it at their house as quote personal. People use things like social media and all that. Oh look, a bird. So technically I wouldn't have been able to fly here. Actually, this is funny. I think I see someone with a drone there. But it would be interesting what happens if I approach them like, do you know the new laws? Okay, so this is my first person in the public. I'm gonna ask him right now what he thinks about this quote. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so according to Transport Canada, if you're posting on YouTube, it is considered commercial as it could lead to direct or indirect benefit.
Well, what are they trying to just stick their hands in everybody's pockets even before there's anything in the pocket. It's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's such a wide array of people doing such a wide array of things, and nobody really knows where they're going, such as myself, who just bought the technology to explore it, to see where my ideas would take me. You know, they might be just stay a hobbyist, but yeah, it's just I just think they should just lay off and let us, you know, it's been good in Canada. It's just ridiculous. They just want everybody to register their stuff, obviously, license and sign up and pay, and it's just a money grab.
So you think this is more about money, basically, like why they want people to do this?
Yeah, well, definitely, because they know that even if people don't do it, they're just going to fine them. So again, it's like you sign up, okay, you pay for signing up or whatever comes to that. And if you don't, you break some rules, you actually get caught something, then you're just going to pay money. It's just money.
So what would you say for people, because I usually get comments like this, they say like the rules like these, they say it's good because it's all about safety. This is to stop everyone from flying like a maniac, so stuff like this will stop people from doing that.
Right. I think actually just the nature of drones itself, not everybody's willing to fly a drone, to be that guy who takes all the attention or to sort of take on that risk. So right away, technology alone limits the amount of people that are going to do it.
Bottom line is, you think this is ridiculous. Like people publishing it on social media rather would consider it as commercial regardless of what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous because it's just it's a great outlet for artists and people who just want to explore their ability to be an artist, you know, and so to like look at it from that viewpoint, it's just...
Indeed.
Yeah, it's just...
And you're just showing me you made yoga mats and stuff. That's kind of cool.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
Can this be used as a launch pad, actually, for a drone?
It could be, yeah. It could be, yeah. It could be, I mean, that's the idea of it. It's just for sort of, tried to sort of break the yoga mold.
Yeah.
By putting different content on it, you know?
Okay.
Which sort of might appeal to different markets.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. And I was talking to, is this your thing?
Yeah, Mezimat.
Okay. Thanks for your opinions and stuff.
Mezimat.com.
All right, awesome. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. That's one of the first people I talked with who was willing to like speak out his voice and so forth. And again, people are doing their thing as artists and so forth. I mean, there has to be a clear distinction. I mean, it's kind of sad. Like even today around here, I saw actually a kid carrying a controller, and I was like, that's a Mavic Pro controller. Like, I knew immediately. And I asked, like, you know, the father, like, hey, did you know about those new laws? He's like, yeah, but he even said himself, I'm playing it safe and all that. Like, to me, there's no problem with that, but with the way these laws are written, they're just really ludicrous. It needs to be changed. Or in general, if the reason for these confusions is it's commercial stuff, then abolish the stupid, like, commercial and, like, personal thing. Make it universal, have, like, a standard law or something like that where people need, like, you know, general knowledge to be safe and so forth. And to me, anyways, it seems like a lot of this commercial stuff is the culprit as well. And again, based on the person's background, like the transport minister and what's happening, I can easily imagine, since it doesn't sound like he has too much experience like actually using like the drones in everyday life, I can imagine just like, okay, reports, drone close crash or whatever. Somebody, assistance, tell me, what are these drones that are out there now? And then someone just runs up and goes, here's one, like a Phantom, it weighs this much. Okay, let's make a law that regulates that. But look, sir, here's a smaller one, the Mavic Pro. Oh my goodness, that's even smaller. Let's make a law on that. But there's these ones coming out that are like 500 grams. Better be safe. Divide that by 2, make the law 250 grams. I mean, to me, that's what it seems like it ended up being in many ways, just with how disorganized the law seems, especially with that etc. comment. Man, all this talk made me want to like edit some drone video for fun. So let's see what I can whip up here. Right, other than that, again, it'd be interesting to hear your guys' opinions because in my opinion, again, you guys need to voice your opinions. Otherwise, like stuff like this are gonna, in my opinion, just follow through and no one will care. Anyways, see you guys later.